Hey guys, it's Chris here, bringing you a video today. Thinking of redoing a lot of my aviary, in particularly the ground, all the rocks on the ground. It's starting to stink if it rains, or it just doesn't seem to be as healthy. Very healthy living conditions. So I think we're gonna do some upgrades, and I've been wanting to redo a lot of my aviary also and add some plants to it and make it a little bit more natural looking. You know, this is the 4th summer that I've had this aviary, and so, you know, it's just taking a beating from the sun and all the different birds that I've had out here. And so just thinking of some things that I want to do with it to upgrade it and kind of give the birds a new aviary for the summertime. You can see they're all out here. They're enjoying the sun. It's a little cool today. We had some big storms come through this weekend that actually dropped snow up in the mountains. Let's see if we can you see the snow at the top of the mountains there. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, been cool. So wanted to try and get this stuff done here before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to catch all my birds. I'm going to round them up, and I'm going to put them in here inside the shed. I don't know if you can see through the wires. I still have my plastic on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the birds inside. I'm going to seal up the hole so they can't come out. I'm going to take a vacuum. We're going to suck up all this empty seed that's down here. Try and clean it up as best we can, and, you know, hopefully be able to clean it up a little bit as labor intensive. And I'm hoping also it'll kind of clean up the smell. It's just kind of like a musty, muggy smell, because I think a lot of that material is compacted down in there and it holds a lot of moisture and bacteria. And also don't think it's as healthy for the birds, to be honest with you. So I think that'll help us kind of clean up the aviary a little bit and give it a little bit neater look. And then I think really what I'm going to do as far as like the live plants go and stuff like that, we'll just throw them in pots. I mean, I'm not planning to plant anything in the ground in here. Just thought about getting several different types of plants that are potted, and we'll just kind of put it in a rotation system and throw some plants in there for a month, and then maybe rotate them out with some newer ones, just to try and keep them fresh so the birds don't destroy them, because I know my canaries are definitely gonna pick at them and eat them, and so we'll have to make sure we have plants that are not poisonous. I'd like to add, you know, like a bird bath in there for the birds to bathe in the summertime when it's really hot out here. So hopefully that'll be fun. Would be a lot of fun. Give the birds something to do in the summertime. Maybe hook up some sort of like a drip system so it's continually adding fresh water into there. Got a lot of ideas. We're going to kind of play around with it. We've got a few days here that I'm going to be working on it, and we'll be able to maybe try and spice this thing up a little bit and upgrade it. Vacuum up all the seed inside there and try and get all that up to date and ready, and then I'll start unloading the rocks, and we'll give you updates throughout as we go on, and hopefully you guys can follow me along the process and we can turn this aviary into something that's even better for the birds. Here. And then I just set up, I just kind of made, it's kind of hard to see, I just put some wire across it so it still sucks up all the debris, but it doesn't suck up the little rocks. So it's kind of like a little filter, and I use that and I kind of just rub that down through the rocks, and it sucks up all the extra seed and poop that's spilled around. So I usually do that about once a year. Just give it a really good deep clean and just kind of sweep through. You can see I just got done cleaning this one. Looking pretty good, looking nice and clean. That just helps clean it up, gets rid of a lot of that buildup that's underneath the rocks. It kind of helps with the smell and that sort of thing too. And so you can kind of see over here. We'll see if we can. I know we got sunlight. You can kind of see on the rocks there. We get a lot of seed buildup and poop buildup, that sort of thing. Over here is pretty bad, just because this is where all the birds perch. You guys kind of see that through the wire, a lot of buildup. And so we're gonna go through, clean it up, like I said, once a year. I'll do this outside part. And I think also after I get done with this, I'm gonna get a few things and try and spice up the aviary. I'd like to put some live plants in here that are edible for the birds, just to kind of make it look a little bit more naturalistic. I did add another branch here that goes across and kind of clean these up a little bit, get rid of a lot of the poop on them, and the sun's gonna be right there, but we have a branch there as well that kind of cleaned up, tried to scrape off any of the sides. I think one thing I'm gonna do, because I have the birds all inside there right now, so that I could be out here in the aviary. So once I'm done with this, we're gonna take all the plastic off for the rest of the summer and let the birds hang out and go in and out. I gotta catch all these guys. We're gonna put them inside there. We're gonna block off the hole, and then we're gonna go to town, clean this, clean up the perches. We're gonna add some new plants in here, so I'll let you guys see the final product here. I probably won't show you cleaning it because it'll probably take me a couple days to clean it and to get all the plants and stuff. So we'll let you get this stuff going here, and we'll get it clean, and then I'll show you this section after I get it cleaned out, and then we'll show you the final product with the plants. So, all right, guys, just got done cleaning out the cages, and I just sprayed everything down. Sorry, you can get the glare of the sun. Hopefully you guys can see. Still kind of dripping some water. But yeah, we got it all vacuumed out. I ended up emptying 3 full vacuums, shop vacuums, full of just seed and junk. So that's just from vacuuming through. You can see how nice it looks now. And then I sprayed everything off just to let it, whatever I've missed, kind of let it settle and push it down a little bit. We'll let it all dry before we bring any of the birds out. Tried to kind of spray off stuff up on top there. They get a lot of poop buildup up there. A lot of poop buildup on the branches. Try and spray off as much as we can. I'm gonna I might throw in a couple other interesting looking branches and kind of give some different directions for the birds to go and to kind of climb. You know, believe it or not, a lot of these like straight up and down sticks that I have in here, I see the birds hanging sideways on those quite a bit, especially like my cutthroats. So I think it gives them a little bit of exercise and a little bit of enrichment there. I want to put some live plants in here, so I'm gonna run to, we have a local greenery. Some of the plants that I've been thinking of are some bamboo, and in Utah, bamboo might be a little bit hard to find, so we'll just see if it's in stock. And I'm planning to keep all these in pots. So they have like a potted bamboo that has just really small shoots that it sends out. I don't remember the name of the exact name of the bamboo plant, just because I'm not very plant savvy. So I got that. I was thinking about a lilac plant for each side. I might throw in a couple fake plants. Excuse me. I still have like some of these. I might go get some more fake plants and just kind of dangle around. The birds love to hang on them and chew on them. The finches love to chew on them, but they can't hurt them because it's plastic. So just kind of some things like that. I have a fake plant in our house. I'd have to play with it and shorten it down a little bit. Thought about putting in this corner right here. And then we probably would do like a real plant in that corner and a real plant kind of central here. And about the same thing here. I think we'd probably put a live plant right here, maybe one right there too. So we'd have this kind of crisscross of the branches, and then you'd have some cool bushes on each side that might add some really cool visuals. And then maybe just something small like right here, maybe something more of like a bush style plant. So that's kind of what we're thinking. So we'll run to the store tomorrow, see what they have, and then I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, we have finished. We have plants. So we'll kind of step back, give you a good view, and then I'll kind of talk about some of the plants we've put in here. So we got 3 plants on this side. Then I have a fake plant that I've had for a long time in our house that we actually were thinking of getting rid of. So I said, why not repurpose it? And then I threw a couple plants in there. So we'll kind of go through, talk about some of the species of plant we have here. So we have a bamboo plant. This is a clumping bamboo. That's one of the smaller types of bamboo that they have out there. So I'm excited for that. And one thing I did do is I did just leave everything in the pots. Obviously that one's fake, and so I kind of designed a cool way and put it in the rocks, so it looks like it's growing out from the rocks. But everything else is in pots. You can see that there. I tried to kind of put them down inside the rocks. And I had some extra wood pieces laying around. I was like, you know, what the heck, why not? We'll kind of play with it a little bit, throw some piece of wood out. I got a rock there, kind of lean that up against the pot that was sticking out. You can see here, kind of stacked those up around the pot. I laid some down, and one, it's for decoration, and two, it also is something that's hopefully will be a little bit exciting for the birds. Gives them something different. They can fly down, land on the pieces of wood, kind of walk through, that sort of thing, climb up and down. I did have to put a little band here to keep my clump of branches together, but you can see it goes just right below it. And so I know that this is not gonna last forever. Hopefully it'll last me another 2 years, kind of like how my last setup was. And every 2 years we might just revamp the aviary and give it a really good cleaning and go from there. Back to the plants. So I got, this is it's a type of palm. So I have one here, and then I have one in the back corner. I just love how they look. They kind of bring a little bit of that tropical feel. It's about as tropical as we can get here in Utah without the plants just instantly dying. So yeah, so we throw that in there, and they're a little bit more of a house plant. So I have them more in a shaded part of my aviary. So the sun really only hits them for about an hour each day. You can see that one's half lit up, and then the back half's in the shade. So as the sun goes down, it's not going to hit that very often. The bamboo plant's going to be in the sun for only a couple hours. Really, the layout and the position of my aviary, it doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight. Mostly just these top perches, they'll get the sunlight until they go down. We have houses and stuff right there, and our fence, so it provides a decent amount of shade back here. So not too worried about the plants overheating. Some of these plants are more partially sun, full shade type plants. And then I got like a grass type plant. I've used these before in past aviaries that I've just loved. The finches love them. They'll eat all the flowering seeds. They'll pick up on the grass. They'll use the grass for nesting material. I'm expecting these plants to really get beat up by the birds, just because I don't have a big enough space to really have a planted aviary that could sustain itself. It's a small enough space that I think the birds would probably do more damage than not. And that's why I left them in the pots. So at the end of the summer, I can remove all these out, and what plants are still alive, I can nurture back to health for next spring, and we'll put them back out. Also, if the plants are starting to look really, really bad, I can just pull them out, you know, so that gives me that option by leaving them in the pots. And so that's another reason why I got non-toxic plants for the birds. I made sure, you know, double checked on the web and in bird books, different resources, just to make sure that I'm not putting anything toxic in here, because my birds will eat them. Specifically, my canaries. My canaries will eat anything green that is in their cage, and always have been, and they always will. My canaries and my zebra finches, they'll be the two that will really kind of pick these things clean. But that's okay. So we put them in there for, it kind of enriches their environment out here. They're gonna love it. They're gonna enjoy it. Gives them a different scenery, different background, that sort of thing, you know. So my Goldian finches, my society finches, my rosy borks, they're probably not gonna play with it as much. They might chew on it a little bit, but it's mostly gonna be the canaries and zebra finches, and probably my Java finches that will, they'll try and eat the plants. They'll try and pull off a lot of it for nesting material, that sort of thing. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch them. It just creates a completely different atmosphere out here, and I love it. So hope you guys enjoy that. Also, we got the grapevines that I planted 2 years ago. They're starting to get good. The whole goal with that is to really cover this whole side, and I'll let them grow just a little bit over the top. I don't want them to really cover the entire aviary. So probably next year I'll have to start pruning and trimming the plant, just so, to make sure it doesn't take over everything. And I also have, if you can see out there, I have a separate, it's a different type of grape plant that we planted this year. And I'm hoping that it kind of grows up and takes up, and I'll just let it grow to the bottom half of the aviary. So the bottom half's covered, and we'll keep the top half open so they can get all the sunlight they need. So it'll be fun. just kind of adds a natural look, and I love it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Just used some old materials we had laying around, made it as cheap as we possibly could. Found some good deals on the plants. So we'll kind of step back here, give you guys a nice good overview of it. One thing also to take note of is I strategically tried to place the plants so that I still have an open lane, so I can come all the way back here if I need and start working on the birds or do anything in here without having to fight the bushes and fighting to get through. I don't, you know, I have the perches around on the outsides and up on top, you know, same here, you know, have there in the corner, and then the whole middle's open, and then it's kind of on the sides of the plants. So that, like I said, serves two purposes. One, I can get in here and I can catch birds if I need to, or I can clean the cages or whatever it is. But then also I'm not obstructing any of the flight patterns of the birds, so they can still fly from one end to the other end without hitting or touching a plant. The bamboo plant, if they don't eat it all the way, I probably would have to trim it back because they do grow quite a bit, but I don't expect it to grow as fast as it probably could, just because the birds will probably be picking on the leaves and that sort of thing. But I can trim that back if needed. So yeah, so the birds, they got a nice planted aviary. They can still fly the whole entire length without hitting any plants, still get the exercise they need, but then kind of have a more enriching and invigorating environment. So I think we'll try and see if we can place the camera somewhere in here, let you guys get a good view of all the birds coming out and enjoying the new plants.